Palette swaps in the Mortal Kombat series have become a staple, and those who have seen my Ultimate Mortal Kombat Ninja tier list video know the drill. Although Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the faces of the franchise, let me tell you about the Cyber Initiative. Let's dial it back to April 15th, 1995 for a sec. Mortal Kombat 3 hits the scene, and fans rushing to play Scorpion at the arcade find themselves staring at, well, not Scorpion. In fact, none of the palette swap ninjas are in the game, except for a less ninja version of Sub-Zero. In their place stood Cyber Ninjas, palette swapped cyborgs that divided fans but ultimately won their hearts. Thanks to your positive feedback on my previous tier list, we're diving into the deadly cyborg assassins with a Cyber Ninja tier list. I will evaluate each Cyber Ninja based on design, special moves, finishers, and backstories, since these four components provide an accurate assessment of any character. After assessing each character, I'll place them in the tier I believe suits them the best. I will also include a community tier list based on responses to the polls on my community page for those who participated. With all that out of the way, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and comment your tier list down below. Now let's get deep into the circuits with the Mortal Kombat Cyber Ninja tier list.
Cyrax.
Who better to kick this tier list off than everyone's favorite mustard-colored cyborg? LK4D4, better known as Cyrax, debuted in Mortal Kombat 3 as one of 3 Cyber Ninjas. Cyrax was one of 3 warriors who fell victim to the Cyber Initiative, thanks to the Lin Kuei Grandmaster. Cyrax was not thrilled about becoming a cyborg, but his loyalty to the cause got the better of him. Cyrax's first task was to eliminate Sub-Zero, who escaped the Lin Kuei's attempt to convert him into a soulless cyborg assassin. Instead, Sub-Zero turned the tables on Cyrax with the help of the Thunder God Raiden. Sub-Zero reprogrammed Cyrax to seek and destroy Shao Kahn, but the Emperor was defeated before he could complete the assignment. This left Cyrax famously stuck in Jade's desert, looking for salvation. Salvation would arrive in the form of the Lin Kuei, who made him a cyborg in the first place. They ultimately recovered and repaired Cyrax to put him back into the field. However, to conclude Mortal Kombat Gold, Special Forces members Sonya Blade and Jax Briggs helped Cyrax regain his human psyche after Shinnok's defeat.
To recover your main processor.
We'll lose you for good.
After experiencing the flashbacks in my fight against Shinnok, I realized that my existence is unnecessary unless I can fully recover my human psyche. We must continue with the process.
I am human. I feel life once again, and I remember everything. Thank you so much. I am forever in your debt. I will not return to my Lin Kuei roots as an assassin. I instead choose to fight at your side for Earth.
Deadly Alliance saw Cyrax enter Outworld, aligning with vampiress Nitara, whom Cyrax aided in finding the portal sphere before returning to Earthrealm.
The enormous heat and pressure of the lava burned out Cyrax's senses almost immediately. He cast about blindly in the infernal pit, searching for the orb Nitara had sent him to locate. Cyrax found it resting upon a small submerged pedestal beneath the molten depths. As soon as he clambered to the surface, she demanded he hand over the orb. Nitara had promised to return Cyrax to Earthrealm once the orb had been retrieved. Taking her necklace in hand, she uttered a mystical incantation. A swirling portal opened around Cyrax had he only had time for a solemn bow before he was swept into the gateway.
After the timeline reset, Cyrax returned in Mortal Kombat 9 in complete human form for the first time in the series. He remains a member of the Lin Kuei, but he is now opposed to the Cyber Initiative. However, he is ultimately captured and turned into a cyborg once again. His last canonical appearance occurred in Mortal Kombat 11, when Kronika brought Cyrax back to aid in the Cyber Initiative revival.
The upgrade, Cyrax. Is this Kronika's doing?
To better serve her, Sub-Zero. We defend Kronika as she rewrites history.
He suffered defeat at the hands of Sub-Zero, regained his humanity, and sacrificed himself to destroy the cyborg creation facility.
I'm in. I'll reformat the system drives and shut us all down. Goodbye, Kuai Liang.
It is not the end. I will find a way to restore you. Anything is possible. Hanzo and I are living proof.
Please, don't bring me back as a machine. I can't live like this.
Cyrax's special moves and finishers put him on another level compared to most other characters, with attacks such as the green net, grenades, exploding teleport, and air throw. He's also had some of the most unhinged fatalities, including the helicopter spin, self-destruct, and nothing but net. Just in case that wasn't enough, there's no better animality than Cyrax's in my opinion. It's impossible to knock Cyrax's design as he's become arguably the most iconic cyborg character in the series. The yellow robot suit has aged exceptionally well, and each appearance looks similar, if not better. While I think it's safe to say Cyrax has not seen much design innovation since his debut, there's no need to fix what's not broken. Cyrax's story, moveset, finishers, and design have made him a Mortal Kombat legend. There's a certain tragic element to his character, considering he's turned into a cyborg basically against his will and gets stuck in the desert, but I feel that makes him complex and sympathetic all the same. Although he stole Smoke's fatality, I'll let that one slide as Cyrax lands himself in the S tier. The community voted Cyrax into the S tier with 61% of the votes.
Sektor.
Next up, we have the ketchup to Cyrax's mustard. It's impossible to talk about Cyrax without discussing Sektor, who is equally iconic from a cybernetic ninja standpoint. Despite their similar appearances, Cyrax and Sektor could not be more different from one another. Like Cyrax, Sektor debuted in Mortal Kombat 3 as an assassin for the Lin Kuei. In that regard, his story is similar to Cyrax. He was turned into Unit LK-9T9 through the Cyber Initiative program, designed to create more efficient assassins. In contrast to Cyrax, Sektor volunteered to participate in the program due to his loyalty to the Lin Kuei. Sektor was tasked with eliminating Sub-Zero, who evaded the Lin Kuei's attempts to have him converted into a cyborg. He failed to accomplish this goal, and in Mortal Kombat Gold, Sektor is a secret character with a bio stating he must monitor Cyrax for any adverse effects from his stay in the desert. Regardless, his aggression and loyalty to the cause never wavered to the point where he believed he was superior to the Lin Kuei Grand Master. Sektor eliminated the Grand Master to take the throne forcibly. However, his plan was thwarted by Sub-Zero, who defeated the cyborg and took control of the Lin Kuei. After the battle, Sektor fled to Japan and created the Takunin, a new army of cyborgs. In Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Sektor captures the game's protagonist, Taven, and brings him aboard the Takunin warship. Ultimately, Taven defeats Sektor after the Special Forces intervene. In the rebooted Mortal Kombat 2011 timeline, Sektor appears in human form for the first time. However, he is now the son of the Lin Kuei Grand Master, but still equally as evil as the previous timeline. Sektor and Cyrax clash on the clan's idea to turn their best warriors into cyber assassins, leading to Cyrax defeating Sektor, but still joining him in the Cyber Initiative. Apart from becoming a cyborg, he doesn't do much of substance other than helping to convert Sub-Zero into Cyber Sub-Zero later in the game. After suffering a crushing defeat at the hands of Nightwolf, Sektor's head and memory made a brief appearance in MKX, helping to resolve the feud between Scorpion Shirai Ryu and the Lin Kuei. Sektor returns in Mortal Kombat 11 alongside Cyrax, thanks to everyone's favorite villain, Kronika. The ketchup and mustard pair are tasked with reviving the Cyber Lin Kuei, a plan that fails.
Frost warned me that you two would become allies. I did not think you capable of such dishonor, Sub-Zero.
Aid Cyrax. Sektor is mine.
Kronika then uses Sektor's body to restore the Cyber Lin Kuei before his last moment in canon was to destroy the Special Forces headquarters.
Have I arrived too late?
You're back in the nick of time.
Like Cyrax, the developers did a fantastic job crafting Sektor's moveset. I believe Sektor has a more intriguing moveset and better finishers, although that's definitely an unpopular opinion. He gets attacks such as the missile, teleport punch, homing missile, and later a flamethrower. For his finishers, he's got the incredible flamethrower, compactor, robosec, and of course everyone's favorite, the Scarecrow. Sektor's design has remained mostly consistent throughout the series except for his human form appearance in MK9. He's once again similar to Cyrax in that sense, nearly identical costumes but always cool regardless. The standout for me is just the classic simple MK3 look, which has seen several reimaginings across the series. Sektor and Cyrax are always mentioned in the same breath because they are synonymous. They arrive simultaneously, are both part of the Lin Kuei, and are just two outstanding looking cyber ninjas. In keeping with that trend, Sektor joined Cyrax in the S tier, since I find it truly impossible to rank him any lower, even if he's not as complex from a story perspective. The community voted Sektor into the S tier with 50% of the votes. Smoke is the first of two characters to appear on both the Classic Ninja and Cyber Ninja tier lists. Interestingly enough, Smoke predates both Cyrax and Sektor, having first appeared as a hidden ninja character in Mortal Kombat 2. He becomes a full-on Cyber Ninja in Mortal Kombat 3, but retains his status as a secret character. He falls victim to the Lin Kuei Cyber Initiative despite trying to escape alongside Sub-Zero. His assignment? To eliminate Sub-Zero, who narrowly escaped the Cyber Initiative program. After thwarting Smoke's attempt to eliminate him, Sub-Zero helps him discover that he still retains his soul. The two proceed to defeat Cyrax and Sektor before Smoke gets captured and locked away by Shao Kahn. Cyber Smoke returned in Mortal Kombat Deception and combined forces with Noob Saibot against his will. The Wraith restored Smoke and programmed him to only follow Noob's commands. Cyber Smoke's next and final appearance occurred in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. He suffers defeat at the hands of Taven, and it is presumed that Sub-Zero helped restore Smoke's memories once again. Although perhaps not the most original moveset, I have a special place in my heart for Cyber Smoke. His chest spear is such a unique twist on Scorpion's primary attack, and Smoke also had a teleport punch, invisibility, and an air throw. As for his finishers, I'll never pass on the opportunity to bring up my personal favorite fatality of all time.
Smoke wins. Fatality.
Cyber Smoke follows a similar path to Cyrax and Sektor, although his appearance in MK Deception vastly differs from the other two. Even so, I think he looks great, but nothing beats the classic Cyborg look for me. Despite Cyber Smoke only having a few appearances, the overall design is one of my favorites in the series. I put Human Smoke in the A tier, citing his lackluster backstory as one of the reasons. I think they put him in a bad position in the NRS era, despite MK1 being an improvement. Although you could argue Human Smoke is an S tier character, I think Cyber Smoke is unquestionably an S tier character. Sure, his story is similar to Cyrax and Sektor, but he debuted as a ninja and we got to see the character transform into a cyborg. There's a certain tragic element to his character, and although it's short-lived, I think Cyber Smoke's story is more appealing than Human Smoke overall. The community voted Cyber Smoke into the S tier with 60% of the votes.
Sub-Zero.
Next we have a character that players always dreamed of but didn't get until much later in the series. In the original timeline, it was said that Sub-Zero would have been forcibly entered into the Cyber Initiative had he not escaped. After MK3 teased this possibility, fans were left wondering what a cyber version of Sub-Zero would look like. The Mortal Kombat reboot in 2011 answered all of those questions. In the story, Kuai Liang's Sub-Zero is captured by fellow Lin Kuei members Sektor and Cyrax. The two successfully automate Sub-Zero, turning him into Cyber Sub-Zero. He spends a brief period as an evil cyber ninja before Jax gives him his humanity back, at least his conscience anyway.
Here goes nothing.
Certain this will work.
Hell no. I've never done this before. Not like there's a manual.
What is it?
I remember the things I have done for Shao Kahn.
He chooses to fight for Earthrealm, later squaring off against his brother Bihan in an epic showdown. Unfortunately, Cyber Sub-Zero is short-lived, as after being taken back to the Netherrealm by Quan Chi, the MKX comic reveals he was turned back into his former self. Cyber Sub-Zero's moveset draws from Cyrax's, but instead of traditional bombs, Sub-Zero gets ice bombs, alongside a slide and a dive kick. His fatalities are honestly pretty bad, but here's a look at them.
Sub-Zero wins.
There's not much to say about Cyber Sub-Zero's design, simply because we've only seen him once in the series, unless you count his hidden appearance in Mortal Kombat X. I will say though that seeing Cyber Sub-Zero in the classic MK3 Cyborg costume was pretty cool. No pun intended. In retrospect, getting Cyber Sub-Zero in MK9 fulfilled a dream many fans of the series had since Mortal Kombat 3. Seeing it come to life was something not many thought would happen. However, it was short-lived and completely scrapped in the MKX comic. There's not much more to add, and I think Cyber Sub-Zero is a perfect B-tier character. The community voted Cyber Sub-Zero into the S tier with 52% of the votes.
Triborg.
Triborg is unquestionably one of the best DLC concepts the Mortal Kombat series has ever seen. This fusion of deadly cyborg assassins debuted in Mortal Kombat X as part of Combat Pack 2. Triborg is the product of the Special Forces, who found the Cyber Lin Kuei's hidden data storage site and uploaded random files into a test subject. This test subject came to life as the amalgamation of Cyrax, Sektor, Smoke, and, more discreetly, Cyber Sub-Zero. After coming to life, his goal was to exterminate all organic life, basically making him the Mortal Kombat version of the Terminator. Some may say Triborg lacks in the story department, and while I can somewhat agree with that, this machine makes up for anything it lacks from a story perspective with its moves. NRS brilliantly utilized its variation system to include Cyrax, Sektor, Smoke, and Cyber Sub-Zero in the game as one character. It's almost like a chameleon-esque cheat code, but I think it's honestly one of the most well-executed concepts in MK history. Here's just a brief compilation of the different moves available to Triborg. Anything I've said in the last two segments also applies to Triborg's design. Having the ability to become all four Cyber Ninjas is almost unfair to every other character.
The Mortal Kombat champions.
I've defeated each of you before.
But never all of us together.
After careful consideration, I'm placing Triborg in the A tier. Although that may be controversial, I think NetherRealm nailed this concept, despite it being a DLC character with a shallow backstory and no real implications in canon. The community voted Triborg into the S tier with 59% of the votes.
Frost.
Frost, who first appeared during Mortal Kombat's 3D era as a female Lin Kuei warrior, is rounding out this list of cyber ninjas. She turns on Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat Deception, but it wasn't until Mortal Kombat 11 that she became a cyborg. She helps revive the cyber Lin Kuei alongside Kronika before falling to Raiden.
Frost. Home. I was your mentor. Yet after all this, you allied with Sektor. He corrupted the Lin Kuei.
You corrupted our clan when you made peace with this Shirai Ryu filth. With Kronika's help, I will restore the Lin Kuei's honor. Now do I have your attention, Raiden? The warriors sinking your fleet are under my command.
You have made a devil's bargain with Kronika, Frost.
You ignored me my entire life.
Frost had some cybernetic special moves in Mortal Kombat 11 that included the Core Discharge, Blade Spin, Cryo Stance, and Cyber Head. For her fatalities, she got the Ice Sculpture and Cyber Initiative. Her design in MK11 actually isn't that bad. If I were to envision Frost as a cyborg, this is what it would look like. It's nothing that will floor you, but overall it's solid. I would need a lot more out of Cyber Frost to consider her a top tier character. Unfortunately, it's just such a small sample size and something that we'll probably never see again. With all that said, Cyber Frost finds herself in the D tier. For the first time in this tier list video, the community voted Cyber Frost into the B tier with 50% of the votes. And there you have it. To recap my tier list, the S tier includes Cyrax, Sektor, and Smoke. Triborg landed in the A tier by itself, Cyber Sub-Zero settled into the B tier, and Frost dropped down to the D tier. Here's a look at the community tier list. I think these are pretty solid and respectable rankings. Commenters could take issue with Triborg being in the A tier, but I think it's a fun idea that NRS fleshed out more than a character like Chameleon, who has a similar idea behind him but zero payoff. I also want to point out that this tier list does not mean I would rank Cyrax, Sektor, and Smoke in the S tier when discussing all MK characters. However, all three are S tier cyber ninjas and there's no question about it. Now's your chance to give me your rankings. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Did I miss anything? Feel free to light up the comment section with missiles, ice bombs, and everything else. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.